How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Spider, and in this video we're going to be breaking down UPA week number 4, going up against Timo and the California cast forms. I don't have the sprites yet. I haven't downloaded them, so I'm having the battle tomorrow. Trying to whip through this team builder and get everything set up for the battle. So my opponent has a team of Kyurem White, Lunala, Terapagos, Alolan Ninetales, Grimmsnarl, Oricorio, Galvantula, Suicune, Alolan Avalugg, Hisuian Avalugg. There's no Sceptile, Ice-Q, and Camerupt. And the Terra captains are Oricorio, Avalugg, and Camerupt. So obviously free Terra. A couple things about his team. Hazard removal is strictly Terapagos and Avalugg. I don't really see Terapagos running Rapid Spin in this matchup. I think it's going to try to sweep me. So that only leaves Avalugg, which isn't terrible if it's because it is free Terra, so it might come as a Terra Poison or a Terra Steel to try to kind of ruin Zacian's day. Another thing is it's incredibly special. The only physical attackers are basically Grimmsnarl, Sceptile, and Avalugg, and I'm not really concerned about any 3 of those beating me. So we don't really have a physical defense wall on this team because we don't really need it. So let's get right into the team that I brought, or I'm bringing, that I have obviously in the game. So let's go right into it. We haven't brought Infinite yet, so we're bringing it here. Heavy duty boots because we don't have any hazard removal on the team we bring here. Max attack, max speed because I believe that he has something on, Galvantula's base 108, so we want to speed creep or speed tie with that at the very least. Iron Fist, obviously, to boost Fire Punch and Mach Punch. Close combat does a lot of damage to things, and I want to knock off over U-turn because knock off helps me hit Lunala, and I felt like Fire Punch is really helpful against certain things if I don't want to lower my defenses with close combat. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Sentinel, the Bisharp. We are just specially defensive with the Eviolite, obviously. Thunderwave, Iron Head, Taunt, and Night Slash. This thing is mainly for Kyurem and Lunala, as well as Terapagos. Really anything special I can switch into and try to Thunderwave. Does he even have a ground type? His ground type's Camerupt, which I'm not really counting because it's a Camerupt. So, other than that, his only thing to absorb a Thunder Wave would be the Galvantula, and we can hit that thing decently hard with Night Slash, so not too concerned about that overall. Next up is Whisper. We are max HP, almost max speed. We are basically speed creeping, we're speed creeping Galvantula, or actually Alolan Ninetales, because Alolan Ninetales hits 109 speed, so we'll outspeed everything that's slower than an Alolan Ninetales. Jesus, I can't talk. We're obviously Wish, Protect, Dazzling Gleam, Encore. We don't need anything else. I'm going to try to Encore that Suicune if it tries to set up. Trying to Encore maybe the Galvantula if it tries to get Sticky Webs up. Lunala if it tries to Calm Mind. That would be huge. Terapagos if it Calm Minds. Ninetales if it Aurora Veils. Encoring is just great, I think, in this matchup. And Dazzling Gleam hits pretty much everything for pretty decent neutral damage. And even super effective against things like Kyurem, Grimmsnarl, and that's about it. So, yeah, Screamtail in the flesh. Next up, we got Ambipom, Terra Ice with Fake Out. Oh, by the way, this is leftovers, obviously, why not? We have the Wide Lens, Ambipom, Terra Ice. We are speed creeping that old Ninetales. It's the same speed tier there, with the rest in attack and HP, and then 4 in defense. Fake Out, U-turn, knock off, triple axle. Obviously, knock off helps for the Lunala. And I figured, Terra Ice triple axle with the now Wide Lens is just there for the triple axle so that it can pretty much guaranteed hit. It'll be 99% accurate on all 3 of those triple axle hits. I don't want to be missing that. And Terra Ice to kind of give me a stab boost on that. His team is pretty susceptible to that. So just trying to probably just lead with this thing, get a Fake Out off. It is pretty ideal if he brings Galvantula and leads with that, trying to get Sticky Webs up. Sticky Webs really good against my team and my draft as a whole, especially against the 6 I'm bringing because I'm not bringing removal. I want to be able to fake that thing out and then beat it with a triple axle, or just go for triple axle off rip, because that will not be affected by the Focus Sash because it hits several times, and that should knock him out from full. being that we are going to be Terra Ice if we decide to Terra immediately. But since we are fake out, we don't necessarily have to, since we can fake out and then have the unboosted triple axle still knock him out after that. Next up is Zacian. 224 HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, and 28 speed with a jolly nature. Again, 350. I mean, the speed tiers on this team are, in my opinion, not very good. Is it really? Yeah, his fastest Pokemon is the Sceptile, but I don't really care about Sceptile, to be honest. I don't really see it as much of a threat. It's not even a Terra Captain. And after that, it's Alolan Ninetales, and everything else is slower. So we had Substitute, Play Rough. Substitute, Play Rough, Psychic Fangs, Swords Dance. I initially had Trailblaze over Psychic Fangs, and then I had to deal with a Terra Poison Rocky Helmet, Hisuian Avalugg in Mox, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I didn't really need Trailblaze. I'll just Psychic Fangs. Swords Dance is kind of nice because I can set up on a non-boosted Suicune. So if it tries to Scald me, I can set up a sub. Obviously won't get burned like that, and then we can Swords Dance as it tries to Calm Mind, and we win that battle, 10 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, because we could miss a Play Rough and then get burned. So, yeah, that's the Zacian. And then finally we have the Dialga, which is 176 HP, 4 defense, 252 special attack, 76 speed with a modest nature. Here we're mainly just trying to, put a little speed in there so that we can outspeed certain things that have a little bit of speed. I believe, what is Oricorio? It might be to outspeed an Oricorio with no investment. Yeah, something like that. It doesn't really matter. We're going to outspeed most things on this team anyway with this Pokemon. Unless Terrapagos has a lot of speed on it. So, Flash Cannon, Draco, Iron Defense, and Body Press. I think this thing hits his team incredibly hard with the Steel plus Dragon, combo. What's his Steel type? I can't find a Steel type. I don't think he has a Steel type. That's good for us, because that's the only typing that really takes on this dual stab. And if you don't have a Steel type, you don't deal with Dialga pretty well at all. So Iron Defense Body Press is really just there so that I don't lose to a Suicune setting up. So that's the team. We're going to cut to the battle, and I will see you guys there. Alright, so I believe right here I'm looking at the calc with, calcing Screamtail as far as Lunala, and, if Lunala is able to get a Calm Mind up, it's probably going to OHKO Screamtail, so that's kind of what I'm worrying about here. I was expecting Lunala to come in here because it just makes the most sense. Either that or Terrapagos, like I was saying. So I wanted to kind of predict the Moongeist Beam, maybe go into Ambipom. It doesn't make much sense to do anything but go into Bisharp, though. It is my switch in for this. I do live 2 Heat Waves. I was looking at that, and I'm like, wait, so I died to a Heat Wave, but I still had it at +1. So then I realized, okay, I can take 2 Heat Waves. If he's Focus Blast, then he's Focus Blast. There's nothing I can do about that. I just have to hope that he's not. Hope that he thinks that Heat Wave will do the trick and go from there. So we're going to make the switch into Bisharp here. I was expecting probably just a Calm Mind here if he has it. If not, it could be a multitude of things. Could even be knockoff. But going to switch into Sentinel, making his UPA debut here. He's going to go for the Moongeist Beam, which is great for me because that's resisted. That's pretty much the ideal situation there. I'm going to calc the damage and see that it's probably just max special attack modest. No boosting item, something like that. So obviously, in this situation, he could be Focus Blast. He could do a few things. He does just go straight for the Focus Blast. I was surprised to see that, to be honest. He does unfortunately miss, which is really lucky for me, obviously. So we're going to get the Para. And at this point, I'm in the driver's seat of this game, to be honest with you. That Focus miss can't be really understated or overstated. I don't know how to say that. Because now that he's slower and with the chance to get fully paralyzed, I feel pretty in control of just, going into Whisper and at this point and figuring out where to go from there. I obviously don't want to take a Focus Blast here. I don't want to risk that it's weakness policy for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Maybe it is weakness policy. That's a great Lunala set, but Yeah, he's going to go for a focus blast here. He's going to connect this one. It does very little. We're going to get some leftovers recovery here. Now, I thought that the encore was really obvious here, because if I encore him, he's locked into focus blast, and he pretty much has to switch. Nothing he can do about that. So I figured he'd go into like really either Terapagos or Ninetales here. Possibly predicting the encore. I mean, he could go into something else. So I end up making the play in. I end up going for Wish here, expecting either a switch or, just expecting a switch because encore was obvious. But he does not switch out, and in fact just clicks Moongeist Beam, which kind of baffled me. Didn't make much sense to me at the time, and he's going to end up knocking me out. So at this point, I'm very upset with myself and just kind of realizing I just need to make the obvious plays. That's what's kind of the difference in this game. So anyway, I take a few seconds to kind of take that in and realize how unfortunate it is. I have made bold plays in the past, and they've for more or less worked out. And that what I would consider a bold play, because obviously it didn't work out, and he could have just OHKO'd me, but to me the encore seemed so obvious. He had already seen the move. There's really no reason to click it. If he switches, he switches, which is exactly why I should have clicked it, maybe, one could argue. But I'm going to go into Astro here because this is the Pokemon that I feel like can take most advantage of the incoming Wish. Obviously, he could break through Paralysis and hit a Focus Blast, but we're going to hope that he doesn't do that. And if he does, it is what it is. But at this point, Dialga, I just wanted to break the Shadow Shield so that either Infernape, Bisharp, or Ambipom could come in and kill this thing with a Dark-type move. But he ends up getting fully paralyzed, which is good for me, obviously. We're going to click Flash Cannon again. Now that I'm at full health, he cannot kill me with a Focus Blast, which is great. He does end up missing another one. I do feel bad, obviously, because, he doesn't deserve this by any means. But, it's the game we play, I guess. If you didn't want to miss moves, maybe you click a different move. But I don't even know. I wonder if maybe he clicked Moongeist Beam. He did get fully paralyzed, so we wouldn't know. I wonder if he clicked Moongeist Beam the turn before when I was at half health. But, I obviously feel really lucky at this point, but also just kind of, confused by this game because I've obviously gotten hacks in my favor to a large degree, and I've also kind of just outplayed myself in ways. So we're sitting here 5-4. And yeah, at this point, I'm super effective against 3 of his remaining 4 Pokemon. So I'm assuming Terapagos, the only thing that isn't weak to Flash Cannon, is going to come in. In fact, it does. So it's going to do its little Terra Shift, and now it's, oh my god, this thing's tiny. Bro, look at the difference. Just the size difference is crazy. This thing's, I don't know why they decided, well, whatever. I mean, that's fine. I remember in Pokemon, in like 6th gen, everything was like the same size, so it was kind of goofy. Like Wailord would be like the same size as freaking, Joltik, and be like, come on now. Like, this doesn't make much sense, does it? Even though you still can't show the true girth of Wailord, but I think they do a better job of it now than they used to. So I'm going to go ahead and make the switch out immediately into Bisharp, just to kind of see what it wants to do. I didn't want it to set up on me. Obviously, Rock Polish plus Calm Mind is a potential set, and I didn't want to lose to that. So I'm calcing this Earth Power. It's not a 2 KO, and for some reason I think it's Specs. It ends up not being Specs, I don't think. I think it's just Max Special Attack Modest. But that's fine. I believe I just click Thunder Wave here, because again, there's nothing to really take that. Thunder Wave's going to be very powerful in this towards the late game. So I say wow there, I guess. I'm kind of, if it was Specs, I'd be more relieved to see that than anything else, because Terapagos is very, very powerful as a setup threat. So he's going to go ahead and switch out into the Grimmsnarl. At this point, if we do connect with the Thunder Wave, that would be great. We do, in fact, connect, which is awesome, which means we will guaranteed outspeed this thing unless it goes for a Prankster move. Of course, it can't click Prankster Taunt or Parting Shot or anything else, or Thunderwave on me because I am a Dark type. So it could click Reflector Light Screen, but given he has Ninetales on the team, it's very possible that this is just not running dual screens because he could just set up Aurora Veil with the Ninetales. So I'm going to go ahead and click Iron Head. If he clicks Reflect, that's really fine. I don't want to taunt in case he just attacks me here. I want to get some damage off on this. And I could switch, but I don't really see the use at this point. So we're going to do a lot of damage with that Iron Head. We don't get a flinch or a para, but that's fine. He's going to knock us out with Brick Break, which is interesting. So Bisharp is down. And now I have a few options. I could also obviously just go into Dialga and hit this thing with a Flash Cannon. But the fact is he'll just bring in Terapagos and continue to threaten me with Earth Power. So it doesn't make much sense to do that, in my opinion. And I could go into, Infinite Bore, Ambipom, but both of those Pokemon can just get Parting Shotted out because of the Prankster priority. So I feel as though, bringing in Zacian is probably the best idea. Because if he does Parting Shot, at least we get a substitute off as he switches in with whatever he wants to do. So I'm going to go into Oathkeeper here, which is my Zacian. We're going to get the attack boost, which is great. Good stuff. And we're going to go ahead and click Substitute. He does go first and gets fully paralyzed, so again, more hacks. I mean, it is what it is. We're going to substitute, so I'm assuming he clicked Parting Shot there, which would have been helpful for him for sure. Would have brought me back down to neutral attack. I still would have done, decent damage to Terapagos, but obviously changes the dynamic a little bit here because he can't Parting Shot now because I'm behind a substitute. So he probably just has to hard switch or let this thing drop. I think he makes the right decision here and just sacrificing the Grimmsnarl. I don't think it really does much for him at this point. So I thankfully land a Play Rough. It looked like I missed, actually. I don't know why it took so long for Zacian to just, pop up out of the substitute and attack, but whatever. I also think it's comical that somehow Zacian is hiding behind this little substitute. I don't get how that works. To be honest with you, where did Zacian go? I mean, anyway. I remember when I was young, I never understood the move substitute. I'm like, what's the point? You're basically just losing health. But now it's like one of my favorite moves. So that's cool. Little background story from Spider there. As we wait, again, I should probably be cutting up these videos and making it more, expedited and all that, so that you don't have to sit between all this. But again, you can just skip forward or speed the video up. I can't speed myself up. I can't speed up time for me, so it is what it is. I'm gonna play rough. I do connect, which is pretty huge. I want to be able to break this Terra Shell as quickly as possible. So we do it about a third to it. It looks like it potentially could knock him out here, but I believe I just end up. I don't know. Do I end up going Dialga here? I think I do. Oh, big yawn there. I'm going to proc the leftovers here. And, depending on its set, it might just be able to knock me out with a Terra Starstorm here. At this point, I believe I still thought it was Specs. So I wasn't completely sure if I was going to be able to live this. I also have to be able to connect a Play Rough, and it has to knock him out if it is indeed, not Scarfed, which I don't think I thought it was Scarfed at this point, so that didn't really matter. But eventually, once I do some calcs, I wonder what I'm calcing here. I think I'm trying to calc to see. Yeah, I'm baffled about something. I don't quite remember. Sorry about that. But whatever. I ended up going Dialga, as I said, because he can't really risk anything. He kind of has to go for the attack here, because if I just play rough again, I mean, or he just throws caution to the wind and starts setting up just in case I switch. I mean, that's possible, but at this point I wasn't really worried about that because I have Body Press to hit him on the physical side. He does Terra Starstorm, does, I don't know, about a quarter, maybe a little less, I don't know, about a quarter, so we're going to end up just, I think, clicking Flash Cannon here. I could have clicked Body Press, but, on the off chance he switches, Flash Cannon is just the better move to click. Iron Defense Body Press was really only here to kind of beat the Suicune one-on-one, so Flash Cannon with the Adamant Crystal is going to be our best move, and this is actually kind of ideal because he does end up switching and pretty much, laying his Ninetales out to just be sacrificed here, as it has a 0% chance of living this in any universe, including the one that Dialga Origin came from. Could have been sashed, I suppose, but I don't know if that would have really helped him out that much. I guess it would have gotten a blizzard off on me, so that would have been cool. But yep, Ninetales is down. Gonna edit it off the layout, and yeah, we're gonna continue on. Right now it is 4-2, but we gotta watch out for that Kyurem. Could be a few things. So the fact that we haven't seen it yet makes me think it's either Choice Scarfed or Dragon Dance. Probably Choice Scarfed, but you never know. We'll have to find out. So he brings in Terapagos, which makes sense. I don't think Kyurem can knock me out at this range with anything, so he probably just needs to chip this thing with Terapagos, or even knock it out. I'm not too sure. I'm going to click Flash Cannon, I believe. I think it actually does more than Body Press because of my investment. He's going to outspeed an Earth Power, which is going to pretty much 2-hit KO us. I thought I might have a chance to live it, but yeah. And he actually ends up being Salic Berry, which is pretty funny. So I thought this whole time that he'd be anything but he is actually Salic Berry, which is pretty cool. So he will obviously outspeed me here, like he did before. It doesn't really matter what I choose here, because he's going to be able to knock me out with an Earth Power. So at this point, I need to kind of guarantee that I win this game. There are several avenues I could take. Obviously, sacking Dialga here makes the most sense, because I don't want anything else taking Earth Power damage, especially that now since I'm in range of the Kyurem. So Dialga's going to go down, but Dialga did get 3 kills in this game, which is pretty big. I haven't really seen much of an impact for it in these first few weeks of this league, but this week it definitely had an impact. So we're going to go straight into Infernape and just Mach Punch, because I want to be able to Mach Punch it. So that's cool. I don't expect him to switch, and if he does, it's taking a lot of damage. So the Kyurem Black, or Kyurem White is at least. It's taking, it might not even, well, no, I think it does take 2 Mach Punches, but just barely. So Terapagos is going to Endure. Obviously, Endure is there for the Salic Berry. His last move is probably Calm Mind. Well, I'm doing my little dance here because it's looking pretty good for us so far. Looking pretty good. Again, these Uber battles are going to be just punch for punch. Who has the most mons at the end to win. It might as well just be like a 3-on-3, because that's how these games are going to go, or at least that's how it seems. So, yeah, Infernape is just going to Mach Punch. Not too sure what the opponent was thinking here, as far as like what to do. I don't really think there was many moves that could have happened here. But eventually, we're going to click Mach Punch and knock out the Terapagos. Now, at the end here, I was thinking Kyurem White could either be Scarfed or not Scarfed. If it's not Scarfed, I outspeed with Infernape. If it is Scarfed, it will outspeed me, but I don't really care about that because it can't knock me out with anything, other than like an Earth Power or a Draco. And if he's locked in a Draco, obviously Zacian wins, unless I miss even if I miss all my player offs, I have Psychic Fangs. So the best thing he can do is go for Earth Power and hope that my Zacian misses a bunch of moves. So, or my Ambipom. So he's going to go Kyurem, and at this point I just start to calc, what can knock me out here. I decide not to go for Mach Punch just because it's not going to kill him anyway. And then I start to do, I think I do calcs after this and realize that Ambipom can 1v1 this thing anyway. So if he is Scarfed, so that's why I go for close combat. I don't really need the chip. And on the off chance that he's not Scarfed and I Mach Punch, then I just lose a differential for no reason. So I don't want to do that. So there's no reason not to click close combat in this situation. That's how I kind of figured it. So we're going to wait. we're gonna wait a little bit more, and we're finally gonna get the verdict here in a few moments. That's all I have to say. Yeah. Oh wait, I just realized I had Spotify playing before this. Oh, that's fine. Whatever. It'll just be a very unentertaining video. But I gotta put this one up on actually technically today, so gotta get it done for the people. He is scarfed, Kiram. Oh wait. Yeah, that is this Wednesday. Okay. Hey, at least we have some sort of UPA content, because last week we didn't. Last week we had to take the forfeit win, so I'm glad we had something at least to post this week. So at this point, I do end up calculating that a Terra Ice Ambipom can kind of clutch this out. I didn't want to go into Oathkeeper and then it does take 2 Earth Powers at this point, but if I miss the first play rough, then I have to connect. Let's just say I get the 1% chance of missing 2 play roughs, then I lose. Then I win 1-0 instead of 2-0. So, yeah, we're gonna just fake out here, just to get a little bit of chip, and then I figure that fake out plus knockoff plus triple axle will win me the game, because obviously he's scarfed here. There's no other way he could outsped Infernape, as we said. And yeah, so once we knock off the scarf, we will outspeed the next turn. Earth Power will never knock me out here unless he gets like some massive crit. He would need like a max roll plus a crit. So yeah, we're gonna knock off the choice scarf, and we are wide lens. So this triple axle has a 99% chance of hitting each 3 times. So that should be the end of the battle, as I see it. So yeah. We're going to Terra Ice, and we're going to hit this bugger with a big triple axle, and we're going to win the game. I'm just going to spoil it. There it is. Ambipom gets the last kill. I really enjoyed using Ambipom, especially as a free Terra. Seems very fun. So I've enjoyed it. Next week, who do we face? How do I forget? I literally was scheduling with him. Okay. Oh yeah, Gunk. I was scheduling with them, yeah. So that should be fun. I think Gunk's also doing well. I think they're like 3-1 so far, so that'll be fun. GG's and to Artemio, and we are now 3-1, I think. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. All right, yet another voiceover for this battle. A little post commentary. I feel like these are kind of becoming the norm, unfortunately, but it is what it is. As you can see, my opponent actually brought exactly what I was expecting. Usually, if you watch these videos, you can tell I have to do like some sort of kind of live editing where I fix the mons that I was expecting, but yeah, he brought everything, the 6 that I predicted, so not like too surprising, but I don't think I've gotten it perfectly right since I've started uploading these videos, so that's fun. We're just going to lead with Ambipom because it can fake out anything. If he wants to lead Lunala, we can knock off potentially, or just hard switch into Bisharp, as that is going to be our main switch into that. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I'm just gonna say this is quite the interesting battle. that's just what I'll say. Definitely a strange one. So yeah, let's see what my opponent decides to bring. He's running out of time here. Artemio. So what am I expecting for a lead? Possibly Grimmsnarl to try to get up screens. Maybe Ninetales, because it can also use the Aurora Veil, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, let's go. Good luck. Ooh, got the Walking Wake in the background. I got the Meowscarada. I gotta change my profile pic. I gotta find something more epic, or just do something else. I don't know. Interesting little place we got going on here. It's like I feel like it's color scaled to be blue. There's so much blue around us, but anyway, Suicune's gonna lead. I think this Suicune sprite, or whatever, the Suicune looks actually really cool in this game, I think. Certain Pokemon just look better. I think with its stance, the way it's standing, it looks a little bit more kind of active, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fake out, and I want to kind of calc the damage and see how much it did. You know, it looks pretty obviously defensive, probably just max HP, maybe some defense investment. He does have leftovers, so that's good to know. So I am Terra Ice, as you saw in the team builder. I am Terra Ice because with the wide lens, because Terra, triple axle does actually a lot of damage to things. But I am just going to U-turn. I considered knocking off to get rid of the leftovers, but not really, because he could have gotten a scald burn on me, which would have been annoying. So I'm just going to go into Screamtail here, because Screamtail is going to be able to kind of soak anything here. I can also encore it. So he's going to agility, which I was interested by, obviously. Kind of confused by that, but if he ends up going for Calm Mind, this could be a problem. So I'm going to go straight ahead for the Encore here. No reason not to. If he just attacks me, that's fine. If he switches, that's fine too. I do have a lot of speed on the Screamtail, so nothing on his team is actually going to naturally outspeed me. Now this obviously will, because it just went for agility, but that's good to know. So surprised he led with the Suicune, but I guess that was his plan, just to, start to set up and get as much damage off. But I think it would have been good as like a defensive Pokemon for like Infernape and Bisharp and Ambipom and all that. So I'm going to Encore him into Shadow Ball. So Shadow Ball is an interesting move here. Didn't quite expect that either, because obviously, if you saw the damage, I'm not even specially defensive. I just have max HP, and it's still not doing that much. So with the leftovers, this isn't really, an immediate threat. So I'm going to go ahead and swap right into Ambipom here, just because I don't want to kind of sit here and deal with this. If it gets a special defense drop or one or two of those, it could be annoying. And on the off chance it is Calm Mind, that could be troublesome, and I don't really want to stay, and I want to take advantage of these Encore turns. So I'm doing the calcs. I was trying to see, I think, if it was offensive or not, but I do end up just swapping into Ambipom. Probably should have gone into Bisharp, to be honest, but either way, I felt like if I bring in Ambipom, I see it, you can tell I'm kind of deciding which one to go into. I end up going into Ambipom because I felt like that would force a little bit more pressure, because I am immune to it. So I would expect they swap out the next turn. So obviously we're going to switch into Ambipom, and the Shadow Ball is going to go off, not affect me. He's going to be still locked into that for, I believe, 2 more turns. So the leftover is going to go off, and all that. I gotta look into like pausing and stuff. See here, I go for U-turn, and you see I immediately kind of I'm upset with that move, because I wanted to knock off. Like right after I clicked U-turn, I'm like, why didn't I just knock off? I could have got rid of the leftovers. It would have done good damage, and then I could just U-turn the next turn, because he still would have been locked into Shadow Ball. But instead, he just stays in, which kind of makes sense to me, because you don't want anything else taking the knockoff, I guess. So you just stay in and kind of live through the Encore. Now he is still encored into Shadow Ball, so I could go into Sentinel to resist that, and Thunder Wave, because Thunder Wave is very free here, or I could just switch into something else. I end up going to Dialga. This thing is not boosted up at all besides the agility, so it is still pretty free to just fire off a Draco. Nothing, I guess Terrapagos can switch into that because of its Terra Shift, but nothing really wants to take that hit comfortably, I guess. So gonna get the leftovers, and here I'm still expecting him to switch, because I don't see much of a reason to stay in here. So I do have the potential Iron Defense Body Press, but I end up going for Flash Cannon, and you can see I'm just very confused, because it's doing no damage. I don't know why you just stay in and want to take a big Dragon Pulse or Draco or whatever it may be. But I guess the plan was just to lead with it and do as much damage as possible, and all that. So his Encore is going to end here. I'm just going to fire off a Draco now. No playing around this time. If he does go into Terrapagos, I break the Terra Shift, and then I can just kind of body press and do a lot of damage. The only thing I didn't want to risk, being at -2 and having Lunala come in and set up on me, which is kind of why I didn't Draco in the first place. But at this point, it's kind of clear that he's just going to stay in and attack me. If he swapped there, well played, but yeah, I'm gonna get him really low. I didn't expect that to kill, but I was kind of hoping it would anyway. And I think I swap here actually. Yeah, because I don't want the Lunala to come in, like I said, or maybe I just stay in. I think I just I end up staying in here because I end up calculating and I see that Bisharp might not even kill it with Night Slash after another round of leftovers. In fact, it probably won't. So, I don't want to risk that, especially if it has Scald. There's just no point in risking that right now. I could just go into Screamtail if I really wanted to switch, but this is just a classic example of me just kind of overthinking things. And at this point, I kind of just have to, settle down and make the moves, make the easy plays. I think, I still have a bit of that to learn from this battle, as you'll see. But I'm just gonna click body press because at -2, I wasn't like 100% convinced Flash Cannon was killing, even though it was pretty obvious that it would have. But body press I knew was gonna kill, so just go for that just in case. I don't know. And Dialga is going to get the first kill of the game, which is really cool. Now here, I felt like the pretty obvious play was either Terapagos or Lunala. You usually don't really see Dragon Dance cure him white because its special attack is so high, so you want to take advantage of that. Because special attackers are just generally better since they don't have to deal with Intimidate and Rocky Helmet and all that. So yeah, and like certain contact moves can trigger things. So yeah. Anyway.